So the problem is there's no money in DVDs anymore because the fact that streaming basically killed that art form, and Blue is never really caught on Netflix. Came out at the same. So that's another kind of falsehood of things. So there is money in physical media. There will always be money in physical media. If you have a product to sell, people will want it. People want movies. Streaming has made it more accessible for a lot of people, but it hasn't negated the need for physical media. The problem is a lot of these companies, the industry itself, we're talking video games and movies here, not so much the retailers, they want you to be on a lease platform so they can keep getting recurring revenue. When you buy a movie for 20 bucks, right? You own that movie. You can watch it whenever you want. It can sit on a shelf. It's yours to do with what you please. But if they can get you to pay $5 a month, even with the large amount of content they have, they know that they can incentivize you to spend even more money when you don't own it, because when it's gone, you're probably going to buy a digital release. And this has happened like Amazon when they nuked a bunch of content from there that people bought but didn't actually own. So they want you on this leasing platform. They don't want you owning. There's money in physical media, just not enough for them. That's the problem, right? DVDs, if you didn't know, DVDs and most physical media is not produced in the United States. It's produced in other nations. So for a while, DVDs were produced in Mexico. So they call them pressing it, but they're not pressed. They're mastered there. But there was an operation in Mexico that was doing that. Now, there was some piracy out of the plant, but not enough to really matter. It was never a big issue talked about. And then I think one of the other plants was in China. That's why you see a lot of pirated media coming out of China, is they have a lot of the factories there that produce DVDs and physical media. It was never an issue of expense for them. I don't know the numbers. I think I heard at one point that it cost them, all said and done, I think it was like $1 to produce, but that may have got cheaper over time. And again, I don't know that number exactly. I'd have to do a deep dive to see what it costs to produce media. But you have to remember, studios that were making films were producing millions of DVDs. They were getting a hefty discount, and they're printing these in other nations because it was cheaper. So it's not like it was costing them that much. And when they're charging $20, Walmart was not getting 50% of that physical media sale. Best Buy was not getting that. So I think the reason we're seeing these companies cut sales of media is because they're not getting a large enough cut to actually sell it. The studios could have sold direct. That was never off the table. That would have been better for the studios. That's why this is one of those things that really shows you what's happening. If Universal Pictures, for example, wanted to sell you a movie and didn't want to have to pay Walmart and they wanted to make more money, they could just cut Walmart out. But since they have their own streaming platforms, they found a way to kill local business, to kill different markets, and to also make themselves more money without having to actually make anything. And it's great if you're a business and you're trying to find ways to save money because you're struggling, but these studios aren't struggling. We know they're not, because they're willing to take a bet on crappy films, which there have been a number of stinkers, and they'll take millions of dollars of losses as a tax write-off, but they will not sell you physical media because they don't want you to have it. And so there, as I've said, I haven't said it on this platform, or any platform that, but I've said it like in private life, but it's just, they made piracy to be this boogeyman, right? But then what did they do? They actually made it out to be the hero in things. And if they thought it was going to be a problem or tried to make it a problem, that's going to come true. Piracy will become a big problem for them. It is so easy now to rip content from streaming services. It is ridiculous. And I'm not going to disclose how it's done here because I don't want to get myself in trouble, but I will tell you it is exceptionally easy. It was harder to decode physical media. It took more time. It was more of a toll on hardware. The way they're doing these things now, though, yeah, it is really not an issue to be done. It is quite hilarious. So, they're making this worse than themselves. They should have stuck with the physical media. At least they would have made some money off of it. But now, for a lot of these people pirating, they're paying a subscription to pirate the content, and they're getting a lot more money for what they're doing. They're not necessarily making money. Pirates aren't really making money off the content. So, anyway, I hope that helps.